Let's take a look at what the Dallas Cowboys did, trading away Amari Cooper to the Cleveland Browns. This one was very interesting. I think the Browns are getting a fantastic player. Don't get me wrong. I felt like the Dallas Cowboys could have or should have gotten more for Amari Cooper's production. So my grade's not going to be very kind to the Dallas Cowboys. However, to the Cleveland Browns in this situation, this is one where I'll give the Browns some praise on. And I'm going to hold my grade up here, 3, 2.
We going Cleveland Browns first?
I'm giving it a B+. I just actually gave it away, so I hope it doesn't skew you.
I went with an A.
You're giving it an A. All right.
Sorry, A-. I
won't screw it up next time. I went A-.
No, that's me. You were premature. I was just late. No, my thing with the Cleveland Browns is you had to do this. You had to do something. You trade away Odell Beckham Jr. last year, and then you let go Odell Beckham Jr., then release Jarvis Landry. You had to do something. I don't know if this was in their plans in the beginning when they were trying to look towards getting Deshaun Watson, but you had to bring in a receiver. To only have to give up a 5th and a 6th for a perennial Pro Bowl wide receiver, one of the best route runners in the NFL, and a great red zone threat as well in Amari Cooper. I like this trade actually for the Cleveland Browns. They're not done making moves. You lost Rashard Higgins like we talked about earlier. You're kind of relying now on Donald Peoples-Jones. You want to bring someone else in here. I wouldn't be surprised if they try to get another receiver during the NFL draft, or they try to add one also during free agency. But bring in Amari Cooper, at least you know that Deshaun Watson has that #1 option on his team. He's probably going to get around that 30% target range right now, the way things sit. And we know he can kind of handle that volume so long as he stays healthy. I like this move for the Cleveland Browns.
All right, well, let's shift to the Dallas Cowboys perspective here. And I think, this is not going to be very nice. I've got mine locked in already.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let's go 3, 2, 1. I'm holding mine up. I'm giving it a D. Perfect.
You get a big D for the big D.
Well, the Dallas Cowboys offseason has been very underwhelming. And I think that even our good friend Dalton Miller, who is as he would self-proclaimed miserable Cowboys fan, they make him miserable. I think when you look at this move, Caleb, you're banking a lot on CeeDee Lamb, who CeeDee Lamb is very talented. Don't get me wrong.
I love CeeDee Lamb.
I like CeeDee Lamb. But it's like, okay, you lose Cedric Wilson in free agency, trade away Amari Cooper, and Michael Gallup is coming off of an ACL injury. James Washington, I know he had that quote where he said, there's still a lot of meat on the bones of what I could do. We haven't seen a lot out of James Washington. So the fact that you're going to come into the season with CeeDee Lamb and you're going to have James Washington, who's the other guy? I can't remember the other guys. And Noah Brown. I'm sorry.
You're also Simi Fehiko, who was like the #1 for Davis Mills at Stanford, but the fact that no one really pretty much knows his name kind of gives enough about the standing of him on his team.
Could be a surprise, but it's like right now it doesn't strike a lot of confidence in me just analyzing it. And this is just my opinion. Look, Cowboys fans, you can roast me if you want to. Look, like I said, I respect your opinion. I'm going to keep it respectful, but here's the deal. I think that the Dallas Cowboys, the dynamic that they've created now, and they're banking that Michael Gallup will obviously come back. I'm glad he got an extension. I'm a big fan of Michael Gallup, especially coming out of CSU. Go Rams. Outside of that, you look at where CeeDee Lamb is at. Until Michael Gallup returns to the fray, he's going to see a majority of the attention from opposing defenses with bracket coverage, inside, over the top, underneath. You're going to see the combination there. Defenses are going to try to take away CeeDee Lamb's big-time impact. And we know, look, hey, he could be a deep ball guy if you want him to be, but primarily he eats going across the middle of the field and some of the short routes there, yards after the catch. That's where CeeDee Lamb offers that value, but defense is going to really focus on it. So now you have to hope that Dalton Schultz can really step up and maybe be that elevated, maybe #2 receiver in this time until Michael Gallup does come back. And you're banking on the fact that you got to rely on James Washington, who is very unproven at this point. I think that the Dallas Cowboys have gotten worse, and obviously that Ezekiel Elliott contract's a big reason why we've had to see that, because if they didn't pay him that, they probably could have kept Amari Cooper, which probably would have been the best deal for them.
I mean, the thing I've talked about is, look, hey, don't be surprised if the Dallas Cowboys somehow find up themselves with Treylon Burks at the back end of the first round. If that happens, because it makes a ton of sense. Every single year, Jerry Jones hosts the Arkansas Razorbacks for whatever, I forget whatever the hell they call it, but he hosts them at Dallas Cowboys Stadium, alumni of the stadium, one of the biggest boosters of the Arkansas Razorbacks. If he is there, he is not saying no to Treylon Burks. You pair him up alongside with CeeDee Lamb, then they're kind of getting things back. But like I said, it's kind of like with the Green Bay Packers and these other teams. Like, you put yourself in the same situation. Like, you got no one else to blame but yourself.